Hi guys, it's Ray. I am starting a Tack It glitter cup today. This has 2 coats of my 50-50 mix Tack It over and over and water. And I have 2 glitters. I'm going to do a kind of ombre Tack It here. I have Tulips from LMNOP Design Boutique and also their Olaf. I'm going to use the Olaf for the top and the Tulip for the bottom. So I am just going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to try to keep a somewhat even line to start. I want the top more white than colored. So I want like about 1/3 at the bottom covered. Doesn't have to be a perfect line. When I burnish this, some of it's going to mix together, and that's fine. And I'm creeping a little higher than I originally wanted, but that's okay. I didn't really have a plan for this cup. I just wanted to use this color. So, I have to get the bottom full coverage here. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't contaminate me too much. Alright, so that is my tulip on. I'm going to slide this paper out of the way for a minute. I'll clean that up in a bit. And I'm going to go back in with my Olaf. I'm just scooping a little bit up with the cup to finish. Okay, so I'm going to set this down for 1 second. What I want is a little bit of each mixed in the cup to do that center. So I'm done with this, so I'm going to just go directly back into the bag. Or have fun myself. And a little bit of that tulip. That can also go right into the bag, maybe. I'm making a freaking mess of all of this glitter tonight. I'm just going to kind of mix that cup together. And get my cup back. And I'm going to finish off the center section with the mix. It's going to mix as I burnish anyways, but this will give it a start to that mix. I should have brought my white a little bit lower there. Scoop the rest of that back up. Okay. So, now that I'm all covered, I'm going to take my glove and I'm going to start rubbing my glitter down. I'm going to focus on just the white to start, the Olaf. Some people prefer to do this with a bare hand. I don't really like touching the glitter with my hand, so I use a gloved finger. That's really pretty. So that is about all of the white. So I'm going to start working the mixed section, and I'm going to circle rub it up into that white a little bit just to blend it out some. It's fine. I'm just going to do short little bursts through here just to get all of that middle section laying down. And I think I'm good through there. So I'm going to start the top edge of the pink. I'm just going to rub a small section to start, overlapping that center section. Sometimes you get a little stubborn spot. You have to work a little harder, and I will come back to those as I go around. Okay. Now I'm just going to start the bottom. Wow, look how pretty that is. I knew it was going to be as soon as I unboxed it, and I just really, really wanted to immediately get a coat done using Tack It. Sometimes you just look at a glitter and you know. That it was made for a certain technique. Some of those stubborn spots. Try and get as many of them smoothed out as you can. When you're doing the Tack It, what you're really doing is laying the glitter down so that holographic iridescent side really shows. I have an itch on my face, and I'm probably covered in glitter. And don't forget to burnish your bottom. Sometimes the bottom gets a little stubborn. So I'm just going to bring it all down. It is going to transfer some more of that to the top, but I'm okay with that. I may actually run my hand completely the other direction and bring it all the way across the top as soon as I get these last couple spots done. I think that is pretty well burnished for the sides. I do have to work the bottom a little bit more. Okay, I think that's as good as the bottom gets. So I think I am going to, even if I transfer some of this off my glove, I kind of like it running over the white just a tiny bit. And then just again, double check for any spots. So, wow. That is it. It is ready for a layer of resin. I'm going to set it on a turner, and when I decide what kind of decal it's going to get, I will be back. Okay, so I was initially going to put, this is under 1 coat of epoxy, by the way. I was initially going to put this tattoo on a different cup, but then I did this one and I was like, that'd be really pretty on there. So now it's going on this one. The other cup was perfect colors, but very dark, so I was going to have to do some kind of a white treatment to it before I tattooed it. So when you're using the tattoos, you have to trim around them some. It just makes it easier. So that's what I'm doing, because I didn't do that in advance. So there's that. You peel your front paper off, and I may cut a vinyl decal for this one as well. I actually had forgotten that this cup was sitting here ready to go when I was prepping other cups. So but I'm going to go ahead and do this step now anyways. I can add the decal in a little bit. Get a paper towel wet. I usually use a flat container, but I have a round bucket of water over here, so that's all I'm using. And get it on that tattoo. Make sure you got the whole thing covered. Let it sit a couple seconds. So I do have some of those air pockets that I talk about every time I do a tattoo. I'm going to push those out before I try and move the paper. This is just a silicone brush. My Dollar Tree was actually stocked up on these last time I was in there, so I did buy a couple of new ones just to have on hand. But it's like a makeup brush is where you would find them in a store. And I'm just going to slide the paper off carefully. Alright, that is really super pretty. This was definitely the right cup to put this on. So I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to think about a decal for the other side, and I will be back. Okay, so I decided I'm going to put a decal on the back side of this one. Just a simple mom decal, echoing the roses and the color of the roses. So my decal's cut. I'm going to get the backing off. I'm going to get my cup turned over and somewhat lined up. I'm going to go ahead and get that applied. So simple, but just adds a little something to this one. So I will be back to get the coat of epoxy on this in just a little bit. Okay, time to get a coat of resin on this one. This may be its final coat. It depends on how much of the decal I can feel when it's cured. dried. But okay. That should be plenty. Get full coverage. I'm using the KS Resin Liquidy Split Ultra UV epoxy for this. It's pretty warm in here, so this should be dry to the touch pretty quickly. And then I'll be able to gauge whether it needs a second top coat or not. So I will be back in a bit to let you see a close-up of this one. But for now, that's it. And here's this one off the turner. Super pretty. The decal on the back is pretty subtle, but that's what I was going for. So, and I can't really feel it, so I'm going to call this one done at this point, I think. I'll look it over a little bit more closely when I clean the room again, just to be sure. But it's so pretty. Really, really, really like it. So, that is it.